Well, this is the source of the meowing you hear in some of the videos. So I got this new microphone. I want to try it out. It's the Rode Wireless Me. I also am trying out the Rode Capture app, which is pretty cool. I'm recording right now, frame in frame, or picture in picture. You can also do a split screen, but I need to change the oil in my truck, so I got the hood open right now. This is the diesel 5.9 2003. And we also got a huge mess out here because we just had to clean out the trailer because we're about to be moving. So I had to empty out the trailer so we can pack a bunch of boxes and stuff in there, and then a lot of this wood pile right here I'll be throwing away over the next few days. So, but I'm gonna get to change the oil in my truck here in just a minute. Of course, the garage is kind of a mess at the moment too. You'll have to excuse me, but this is what I'm going to be using is the Rotella 15W40 engine oil, and I get a filter for it and everything. This is 2.5 gallons. So instead of buying the 5-quart jugs or the 1-quart jugs, I bought this 2.5 gallons, and that's what I'll be using. But it's getting kind of dark outside, so I'm probably not going to record this part, but I'm going to get the oil changed in it, and then we'll see how it does. I'm really liking those headlights that I put in a little while ago, the Alpha Rex Nova Series headlights. Man, they just make the truck look a whole lot better, and I can actually see at night. So we got some stuff loaded up in the truck and the trailer. So I'm going to be taking some items to my son's new apartment, and then after we drop off his stuff, I've got to take some more items over to my daughter and her husband's apartment so that we can get their stuff delivered, and then I'll be heading back after this so that we can start loading up some of our own personal stuff and start our own journey of moving. But this is the first step in it, is taking their stuff to them. And I hope you guys enjoy coming along for the ride with me. Well, it seems like my truck is just trying to find unique ways for me to make content. I'm heading back home, and my truck decided they want to start overheating. So, come over, but the radiator is cool to touch. I've been letting it cool off for a little bit, but as soon as I stopped, this was cool to touch. I don't know what's going on. I can't see any leaks or anything down here. Lower radiator hose looks like it's completely dry. The only thing looks like it's happening is it's shoving coolant into the overflow jar. It doesn't have a lid on it, but it never has since I've owned the truck, and it sprayed coolant all over the inside of the engine bay there. So this is no fun. It's gonna be fun to clean up. I did change the thermostat on it yesterday because it was doing the same thing when I was driving over to their house. I didn't record it, but I probably should have. The thermostat's right in here underneath this. They got 3 bolts that hold it in place. On my truck, they're 8mm. I've seen some other videos where they said they were 9mm bolts, but got that changed out yesterday, and it's still doing the same thing. So I'm going to get this radiator filled up and see if I can get down the road, hopefully not have any more issues with it. Well, I've got it running decent for now. I want to see if I can get this truck home. It does look like there might be a small leak somewhere around the radiator. Might have to change the radiator out, I hope not, but I'll see if I can get this thing home. I got about 350 miles to go. Well, I made it almost 20 miles and the truck started getting hot again, so I gotta let this cool off, see if I can fill it back up. and hopefully I can get another 20 miles till I get to Abilene, Texas, and maybe I can find a radiator and try to get this fixed. Trying to see if there's a leak under the truck or anything. It is wet here on the frame. I guess I'll have to open the hood and try to see if I can tell where that leak's coming from. But it's definitely leaking somewhere. So here's one thing I still don't understand, is that I don't understand how I can put my hand on the radiator cap right when I shut the truck off. This is not hot at all to the touch. But it definitely is spraying coolant all over the place. I don't know. Trying to see where it's coming from. Not really sure. A little bit of moisture here on the side of the radiator. I'm not sure. Maybe that's where it's leaking. It's hard to tell. Maybe if I start the truck and let it run, it'll give me the opportunity to try to see where it's leaking from. I'll look up underneath the truck and see maybe it's a water pump, or if it is a radiator, hopefully it'll be able to see where it's actually coming from. Oh, great. Now the truck don't want to start. Well, that's not good. Now the truck's not wanting to even start. Voltage is good. So I wonder if it's... I've had an issue with the starter relay before. I wonder if it's that issue that I'm having again here. Well, I guess I'll let this cool off a little bit more. I'll mess with that relay and see if I can get the truck to start and try to figure out where the leak's coming from. Well, I don't really know where the leak's coming from, or if it is a leak, so I'm gonna do something a little different here. I took this old thermostat and I cut it apart, took the springs and everything out of it, and I'm taking the gasket off of the new thermostat, and I'm gonna put that in my truck to see if that's the cause of the issue that I'm having with the overheating. At least then I'll know if it's a thermostat issue or not. So the new one, I'm gonna put it back in the box that it came out of, and hopefully it's not bad, but I kind of hope that it is bad and maybe sticking. That way my truck can stay cool and I can get home. Like I said, I still got over 300 miles to go, so we'll put that in there. Get this hose bolted back in place. Then get down the road. Hopefully I can fill this up and won't have any more issues with it. But the only way to find out is to get the truck started, get down the road, see what it does. So I'm hoping this fixes my issue and I can get home and then I can repair the truck. But if this doesn't fix it, then hopefully I can find a leak somewhere if it's leaking. I mean, I hope it's not leaking, but you never know. Well, I got the truck started. I got the thermostat pulled and basically bypassed by, as I showed you in that last clip. So I'm gonna get down the road and see if this truck stays cool. Hopefully it'll be cool enough to get me home, because I hate having to try to make these repairs on the side of the road, but sometimes that's just the way it happens. Well, it seems like just to add insult to injury, now the truck won't start. So had to call somebody that lives in the area, come help me out and give me a new starter. So I'm going to be replacing the starter on this truck, and hopefully after that I can get heading home. Alright, well, I finally got the old starter out. This is a very challenging job because this bolt right here, it's hard to get to that bolt. I found the easiest way for me to do it was from underneath the truck and just reach up and do it with a wrench. And the ground just fell out of there when I was trying to disconnect it. So I think that might have been the problem, was the ground was bad. So sometimes it would make connection, I guess, and sometimes not. So since that just fell right out when I was trying to unplug it, I think that might be the issue with the starter, but I'm not sure. But I got a new one anyway. I'm gonna get started putting the new one in, and for me, it was easier to do everything, loosen all the bolts, and get the connections off from underneath my truck. I've seen some guys say that you could get to it from the wheel well coming in here, but you got all those hoses right there in the way, so that makes it very difficult to get in there and do anything. So for me, it was a lot easier to just lay on my back on the ground and reach up there and feel around and try to get everything disconnected. It took a while, but let's see. I'm gonna get the new one put back in there, and then I'll give you an update. Well, I got the new starter put in down there. Not sure if you can see it from this angle. Probably can see it from here. Right there with the red stripe, that's the new starter. Got it put in, so now I need to reconnect my ground cables. And then after I get my ground cables connected to both batteries, then we'll start this thing up and see how it does. Alright, here comes the moment of truth. I'm gonna try starting the truck, see what happens here. Man, that started beautifully. Alright, now I can continue my trip. I am going to have to take the old starter back and get my core feedback from O'Reilly's, but truck's running. Sorry about the static on the radio. The truck's running. I got to go get some fuel, which I was planning to do right here, because they've got diesel for $2.87 there. So I had to stop and get some lunch here at Taco Casa, and then my truck wouldn't start. Now I got a new starter on it. Started up beautifully. I'm gonna see about getting this thing on the road. Hopefully I can be home at a decent hour tonight. Get some rest before work tomorrow. Well, bad news. The truck started heating up again while I was driving. I made about 50 miles before it started getting over 200 degrees. But now I pulled over so I can let it cool off a little bit and put more water in it, or coolant. But it sucks. Yeah, I got the heater blowing, trying to get some hot air off there. It's actually feeling cool now, but the temperature gauge is not looking happy. Well, it happened again. I was able to make it further this time than what I did last time. I'm beginning to think that maybe the radiator cap might be going bad. It could be the issue. So if the radiator cap is letting all the fluid into the overflow jug, it's the only theory I've got right now, because I can't find a leak anywhere else. And it's obviously coming out of that overflow jug and spraying all over the battery and inside the engine compartment. So I'm hoping I can get home before it's super late tonight. Of course, this day is turning out to be way longer than what I had intended for. I should have been home by 3 p.m. this afternoon, and here it is almost 7 o'clock at night, and dark outside, and I found a gas station to park at. It looks like the store itself is not open, but at least I can let the truck cool off a little bit, put some more coolant in there, or water. I've been using distilled water because it's a lot cheaper than coolant, especially since it keeps leaking out. So I guess I have to get another jug out of my trailer here pretty quick, and then fill that up as soon as it cools off. So the other thing I'm hoping is that I've got enough water to get back to the house. I've got 3 full jugs here and one that's got just a little bit in it, and I got 3 full gallons in the trailer, so I'm hoping that'll be enough to get me home. Of course, put a little bit more load on the engine pulling a trailer, but you know, I don't really think that's causing the issue here. I think this, either that radiator cap is bad, or there's a leak somewhere that I haven't been able to find yet. So hopefully I'll get home, and then maybe tomorrow or sometime this week I can figure out where this is leaking and get this fixed. Let's check where we're at. Cooling off pretty good, so hopefully it's good enough I can pull the radiator cap without it spraying everywhere like it did last time, and I can get some water in there and then get back on the road. Alright, well, I put about 1.5 gallons in there, so I'm gonna get ready to start the truck and get on down the road. Hopefully I can get at least another 37 miles to the next town. If I can make it there, then I can stop and fill it up again, and then I'll have another about 40-mile trip before I got another 70 miles after that. So here we go. Hopefully not too many more stops, and then I'll be home. To the next town, and everything was looking good until I had to stop at 3 stoplights, and then temperature started climbing, got just above 200, so I pulled over, shut it off so I can cool down. And once more, I'm gonna have to add coolant before I can continue on down the road. Well, it took about another 1.5 gallons. I think I'm down to about 3.5 gallons of water left. I hope that's enough to make it back home. Got a little over 100 miles to go. But here we go, get back on the road, see how far I can make it. So I'm coming up on this town right here. They've got a Love's gas station or truck stop that you can stop at when you're coming into the town before you get into it. So I'm probably going to stop there and go ahead and top off. The truck's not doing too bad right now. I mean, it is still showing cool, but the heat coming out of the vents is not so much heat anymore, it's more cool. So I'm guaranteeing I need to add some more water to it, so I'm just going to pull over at this Love's right here when I get to it and fill up, and then we'll continue on my journey. So I got about another 70 miles to go after I fill up here at this Love's. Pull over here and park. They've got some parking over here for people with trailers, so I'm gonna pull in here, park, and let this thing cool off for a little bit. Yeah, so it says these spots are for RVs, but I don't have an RV anymore. I do have a trailer, so I think it'll be fine parking in an RV spot. I'll go in here and get some snacks, use the restroom, and then I'll get back on the road. Worst part about this is I turned a 6-hour trip into probably 15-hour day, because I left about 8:30 this morning. I probably won't get home till around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So I guess that's about a 12-hour day. But it just really sucks doubling the length of your day because of truck issues. But hopefully I can get this figured out, what's going on with it, real quick. And it's not always easy filming things like this. A lot of people don't understand that small channels like mine and several others out there, we don't have a crew that travels with us to help us keep our vehicles running. If something happens, they break down, it's all on us. We got to do it ourselves. So sometimes we can't always film everything we want to, but I want to get this thing going, get back down the road here pretty soon. I still got to put water in it, and then I'll be heading back home. Hopefully I can make it home without having to stop again, or if I do, maybe just one more time, because I only got like 3 gallons of water left at this point. Yeah, it looks like the truck's cooled off enough. I can go ahead and get the water in it. Shut these fans off. So I can go ahead and get the water in it and get on down the road. Oops, I forgot to turn the key off. Oh well, things happen. I'll start with this one. And then, if I need to, I got 3 more gallons in the trailer, so. Alright. Still had some pressure on it. A little bit got on me, but it wasn't hot. It was actually cold, so I think I'm okay. So I'm not sure with that amount of pressure that's on there. I'm not sure if it is this cap or not. I suppose it could be, but it seems weird that it would be holding that much pressure in, but maybe it's just not quite enough to open it. And when you get down the road, it opens up a little bit and lets the pressure out. Sorry for the view up my nose. I know you really wanted to see that, but alright, time to get another one out of the trailer, and then I'll get this filled up, I'll get down the road, and I'll let you know how it goes. I don't want to keep filming, it's hard to do this one-handed. So, well, this is all that's left out of this gallon. So the partial jug that I had in the truck took all of that, and then almost another full gallon. So still got 2 gallons in the trailer, and we're doing okay. Hopefully that's all I'll need to get home. I do have 1 jug of coolant if I need to do it, but I was hoping to wait until I actually got home to put that in the truck. That way we don't have just water in there, because it has been getting pretty cold at night, and I don't want to let the truck have the opportunity to have that water sit in there and freeze, bust the radiator or something. Well, I finally made it home. Temperature gauge was showing good, like about 150 degrees. Stayed cool the rest of the way, but I'm gonna let the fans run for a minute, and then I'll come back outside and I'll check and see how it's doing. Got a few little Christmas lights up there, not a whole lot, but something for the neighbor to look at. Got to get the trailer and truck parked back on the driveway and get in the house here, and let me see what I can do here in a minute. I'll come back out in a few minutes, shut the fans off, and see about getting the truck parked over here. But first I want to check the coolant level and see if that water's still in there, and it just stayed cool for some reason, or if maybe I don't need to add anything to it this time. Maybe it did good. And if it's good, then I'm gonna say the issue probably was the actual radiator cap. I did mess with it a little bit before I put it on it last time, so we'll see. It's been a long day. It's about 9:30. Should have been home at 3 o'clock, but the issues with the truck made it to where I wasn't able to be here that early. But I'm home now. That's a nice view in the backyard there. Alright guys, well I'm going to have to end this video here. I've got more videos coming up. Had some more issues with the truck. Got to let you guys know about and let you know what I did to solve them. But I will say that the issue with the overheating on the truck ended up being the radiator cap. So if you're having issues where your truck is overheating on you guys, remember, check the radiator cap and replace it. I ended up having to replace it with one that was rated at 18 psi. I think the original was 16, but that ended up fixing my overheating issue on my truck. I appreciate you guys watching. Please remember, give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to look out for future content coming from my channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate you watching.